everybody, and welcome back to Super Tech Services. This is Brian, and we have another cool video for you. So, on today's video, we're going to be setting up account track. Oh, the dreaded account track that nobody ever wants to set up, and I get it. But today, I got a tweak that we're going to do to the account track. But before we talk about that, what is account track? So account track is basically when you set up usernames or passwords, just accounts for everybody. And this screen here, let me close that, didn't mean to hit that. The screen here will be prompting you for a password or a PIN, or username and password, whatever, to print black and white or color. And they're usually a pain in the ass. You got to set them up. You got to set up all the individual users, how many black copies, how many color copies gets tracked. Some people use badges to scan in. Some people actually have to put their PIN in every time. Same thing when you're printing. You have to put your password in. You can have it autosave, but still, it could be a pain. But today I'm going to set it up in a way where black and white runs perfectly fine. You don't have to do anything. Only color restricts you. And when the color does restrict, you're going to go ahead and select color, and then it's going to prompt you for a username and a password. So some of our customers want to use the machine as a black and white and color machine. So pretty much this is going to allow black and white to run flawlessly, no problem, no account tracking, whether you're printing or copying. But color is going to restrict and prompt you for a username and a password. That way you can track the color, but leave the black and white wide open. So hopefully that was simple enough. And like I said, there's other ways to do it, but that way works best for our customers. So I'm doing this video just to show how that will be done. Let's go. All right, so there's different ways to tweak this for your own needs, but for us, this is how we're going to do it, which will make it really easy on the customer. So press Menu, Utility, Administrator Settings. Put in your password. Okay, after your password is in, let's go to User Authentication Account Track, number 4, and we're going to do Authentication Type. Now, if you're doing account tracking where you want to track everybody black and white, you'd be turning that on. I'm leaving that off, okay? I don't want no part of that. No. Okay, so we're going to do User Authentication, and we're going to Authenticate. Now, we're going to select where it says On MFP and just leave that there. Okay, we don't need no part of that, anything else. So leave that on. Now you're going to want public user access. You want to turn that on without login. So that's key there. And then under prohibited function login setting, we're actually going to hit request. This will allow the user to be prompted for the color so that where they can actually put in their username and password. If you do not turn that on, it won't allow them to prompt them when copying. Count track stays off like I said. Okay. And then hit OK. Yes. OK. And let that create itself. Okay. Now we're going to create a public user that is able to print black and white. So at the User Authentication Account Track menu, let's press that. Then we're going to do option number 2, User Authentication Settings. And for ours, we're going to do user registration, okay? And we're going to go all the way down to page 51. Boom, 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 boom. All the way down, you'll see, oh, God, I could have actually pressed up. Can I have 1 minute of my life back? All right, so press public, edit, function permission, and we're going to do for copying, black only, and for print, black only, and then hit OK, OK, and close. Okay, now as you can see, if you back up here, you'll see a public user, and you'll get prompted for a username and password for when you want black and white. So pretty much black will go through perfectly fine, printing and copying. Color will be prompting you for a password. Now, we need to set up a user. We'll do a test user so that you can actually sign in, because right now we don't have one, so you won't be able to sign in. So let's get that done. Okay, menu, utility, administrator settings again. Enter your password. Okay, now that we're in, we're gonna go to account track. Okay, and we're going to go to option number 2, user authentication, user registration again. This time we're going to select number 1, hit edit. Username, you can be whatever you want. Let's just do test. Password, 1 2 3 4. Confirm, 1 2 3 4. Hit OK. Email address, you can leave that blank, and then we can do the function printing. So we're just going to allow everything, because this is the user account that we want to have all options. We'll even let them scan to external memory. Why not? All right, so everything's on there. You can even set the max allowance if you would want, but we're going to let them have no limit. So, but that's cool. You can do that. You can even pause it. All right, now our user is created, so we can go back. We can select color, prompted for the user. Test. 1 2 3 4. Hit OK. Log in. Now we can print color. It gives us the option now to print the color, which is great. So you can do all your copying of color and black and white when you're logged in there. Then you can actually hit the access button and log out. Now you'll be back on the public user that only allows black. Now that's great for copying. Now we need to move over to our computer and get this situated for printing. So I'm going to show you guys on a Mac and on a PC how to print the same way. So basically you're going to have to put in your credentials the same way on a Mac and a PC. Let's go. Now we're over at the Mac. Just go to your top Apple menu, hit System Preferences, and then go on down to Printers and Scanners. And then just make sure you have the proper driver installed. I can't stress this enough. Make sure that you have the proper Konica Minolta driver installed. If you do not, this is not going to work. So after you've confirmed that the driver is correct, you can go ahead and close the Printer and Scanners box. And just pull up something that has a little bit of color in it. I'm just going to pop up a web page, something really easy, but you can bring up any kind of picture. And then go ahead and just hit Command P or File Print. And you see the Print dialog box. You're going to scroll to the bottom where it says Print Using System Dialog and click that. And let's wait for the prompt to pop up. And there we go. Now at the top, make sure you have the correct printer selected. And then under Layout, you're going to want to go to Output Method. And you see two options there at the bottom, User Authentication and Account Track. For us today, we're using User Authentication, but if you are using Account Track, you can select that. Alright, so after we select User Authentication, this is where we're going to put in our username and password and make sure it is correct or it will not work. So we have test 1 2 3 4. I'm going to uncheck it, then recheck it just to allow the prompt to come back up, make sure everything's saved. And it did. Okay, now normally you would just go and print right now, but we're going to do one more thing. So we're going to create a preset because on a Mac you'll have to constantly press output method every time, and we don't want to do that. So under presets there at the top where I'm at, you can go to save current setting as preset. And when you do this, this will allow you to print every time without constantly having to hit output method every time. So you'll create a preset and the preset will load every time. It's kind of a pain, I know, but this is about the best way you can get it on a Mac. On a PC, you don't have this issue though. So now we can go ahead and print. Alright, so let's swing on over to the copier and you can see, let's see if it prints in color. Now if I was to print black, it would print perfectly fine as well, no problems without a username and password. This is only for color once again. And voila, it looks great. So let's swing on over to the PC. Alright, now that we got a PC, we're going to go in the search bar and just type in printers, select your printer, and then we'll once again, same thing, make sure the driver is properly installed, which I have up top. And then just click on printing preferences there. Now we're going to want to move over to the basic tab and then where it says authentication, you'll click on that. And same thing, you have a username and a password there under recipient. Same thing, put your username and your password, and then you'll press OK. Now this will save it every time, and you can see in the other section that the MFP authentication is on. Now, like I said, this will work every time. You can just start printing normally, unlike the Mac. So this is pretty cool. So we're just gonna make sure the right printer is selected. I'm pulling up a page with color, file, print. Okay, and we just sent the job from the PC. Let's go take a look at the copier. It's making noises, so that is great. Let's see. Come on. Do we have color or not? Okay, bam, there we go. Printing in color. So I just want to show you guys one more setting here that I noticed that can cause an issue. So let's just go back in administrator settings, put the password in. Let me just show you one setting here under network settings, and it is SNMP. Make sure that setting is on. If that setting's off, you will have problems with the PC. The Mac still works fine, but the PC will have issues connecting to the account track. So just make sure that's on, just a heads up. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and close this menu down and exit out of there. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. This was once again how to set up account track but using user authentication. I know it's pretty weird, but you know what, sometimes customers ask you for these, and it's pretty good to know how to set these things up, and they can be pretty useful for you too as well. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.